upset about these cuts. Why are they so worried?
Well, because they're thieves. These are parasites on the American people. It's a Ponzi scheme. They collect $5 trillion. I think the American people don't understand the IRS and what they actually do. They collect $5 trillion a year from American people, mostly not corporations, American people, regular middle-class people. Those super wealthy have figured out how to get by it. 50% of that money is from income taxes. Okay, it's taken literally, $2.5 trillion away from the American people. 1.8 trillion comes from withholding. And then 10%, Laura, listen to this, 10% are penalties. $500 billion a year the American people are charged by the IRS for penalties alone. We should get rid of the IRS. We should go to a zero tax. First of all, audit the IRS and you will get rid of them because the amount of fraud there is unbelievable. We should go to a zero tax, and then when the American people, for some situation, whether it's the military or whatever, needs money, we print money. Right now we do both. We print and we tax. We should do one or the other, and I would say print and make sure the American people are behind it. Otherwise, don't tax the American people.
Well, you can actually, it turns out, you could get a Doge check with all this savings sometime soon. Watch.
Elon Musk is proposing potentially giving money to Americans based on what Doge is finding. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I love it. A 20% dividend, so to speak, for the money that we're saving by going after the waste and fraud and abuse.
How much money do you think?
Could be a lot. I mean, if it's 20%, we'd give back a lot of money to the taxpayer.
Well, Grant, this is the people's money, so calling it a Doge dividend is kind of fun, but it's their money. It's our money.
Well, what's crazy is that the withholding, for instance, everybody gets withheld for 26 weeks of the year if you're getting paid every 2 weeks. They say the reason they do the withholding is for the convenience of the American people. And then one of the people that you were talking about in the video, they said it makes it easier for people to budget. It's a convenience. I'm like, I'm not getting a refund. If you get rid of 7,000 IRS people and they can't process my refund, by the way, that was not a refund. That was money I should have never paid. I was overpaid to the IRS. If that money alone stayed with the American people, it would be $81 billion a year that I could earn by having money at the bank rather than sitting with the IRS and maybe going to Ukraine.
It's criminal. It's criminal that we spend $1 trillion a year on interest on our debt. It's criminal that we spent trillions of dollars in Iraq and Afghanistan. I mean, it really is criminal. It's stealing from the American people and our children and our grandchildren. And speaking of stealing, Grant, what about Fort Knox? Do you think that gold's all in there? A little few gold bars missing, maybe?
One or two things are going to happen. Either they're going to find nothing in there, and that's going to be a disaster, or they're going to find too much gold in there. Because maybe go back a couple of years and maybe they've been packing some gold in there from other countries. Neither one is explainable, but the American people deserve to know what the truth is, and the American people can handle the truth. Let's get down to it and stop the nonsense of these Ponzi schemes and parasites.
Do you think there should be any tax, flat tax, fair tax, sales
I think there should be no income tax, no death or inheritance tax, no gift tax. There should be no income tax at all. No payroll withholding. The way to do it is to go to a flat tax. People would pay 20 to 25% on a purchase.
That's it.
That's when it would be collected. And if a local state or county wants to add a property tax, let them do that. It shouldn't be the federal government.
Grant, people across the country are applauding that. Sounds good to me. Grant, thank you so much. Come back soon.